So I've been seeing under every single video that I post, like, hey man, I'm not getting any views. And if you clicked on this video, that's probably the exact same problem you have. You're just not getting any views, and nobody was watching your videos. And that's why we are on this video here today. Now, in today's video, I'll show you literally, like, you will understand and fully understand how to literally take your channel from this, like here, getting 0 impressions, 0 views, 0 click-through rate, everything 0, to actually making money with your faceless YouTube channel. You will know exactly what to do. Now, this is gonna be a very in-depth video, so make sure to sit in a quiet place and make sure to listen, because you will learn a lot today. All right. Now, before we get into the video, why may I even share this with you? So my name is Stefan. I'm 24 years old. I currently make between $30,000 and $40,000 a month with my own faceless YouTube channels, as we can see here, and I constantly start new ones. Then I've made 42,000 videos with just 2 videos that I've posted here. One did like $30,000 and one did $12,000. I've literally scaled the channel from 0 to $48,000 in just 30 days. As we can see here, like in one day here, 914,000 views, and this is long form content. All right. Then I've had hundreds of other people do the exact same thing. For example, here, the student who scaled up to $24,000 a month, or here to $31,000 a month, or even here, $12,000 a month, and many, many, many more. Right. Now, if you're looking for the exact same results, check out the first link in the video description. Let's work together. Let's scale up your channel as well. Just like we did here, for example, $14,000 in 28 days, or even here monetized in 20 days, here 2 consecutive $1,000 days. Guys, check out the first link in the video description, book a call with me, and we'll have a look how we can, work one-on-one together and make sure that you actually start getting results. Now, that being said, I would say let's jump right into the video. So first thing we want to kind of clear off is, what is a impression? Because this is something you need to know. And this is something that is extremely important, for you to actually get views on YouTube. So an impression is basically how many times your thumbnails or your videos have been shown to other people or to viewers on YouTube. Now, impressions are always broken into 2 different parts, and that's your thumbnail and your title. Okay. This then makes up the click-through rate. Okay. So how often viewers watch the video after seeing the thumbnail, that makes up the click-through rate. Okay, then how does YouTube actually share your content? This is also very important to understand, because once you understand this, you will understand why sometimes your videos actually get pushed and then they completely stop being pushed. Okay. Now, how this works is very simple. So once you post your video, YouTube is first going to push your video to a small tier audience. All right. First to a small tier, just to kind of test, to test the videos, to see like, hey, like, is it a good video? Do people like it? What's the average view duration? What's the click-through rate? To test it. All right. Then they're actually going to go ahead and they're going to push it to a larger tier. Okay. They're going to do the exact same thing. Then an even larger tier. All right. And that's why you very often see these kind of graphs on YouTube where, your videos get pushed, then they slow down, then they get pushed again, then they get pushed again, then they slow down, then they get pushed again. Now, this is what we very often see. Now, something you have to keep in mind, right? That YouTube is even kind of even looking at these kind of data points, even if your videos are only getting like a 50 views, right? Now, something you also have to always know is that, YouTube is always comparing 2 videos against each other. Like, they're always kind of playing against each other. That's what I think. Why? Because if you think logically, YouTube wants to make money, and the video that's going to make the most amount of money is always going to like be pushed more, right? So if there are 2 videos, so video A and video B, all right, let's say, for example, these 2 kind of compete against each other, and this here gets a 10% click-through rate and a, let's say, 5-minute average view duration. Okay. What is important is that we do not look at the average view percentage. Why not? Because it is, in my opinion, like a metric that does not matter. Okay. Why? Because if you have a 10-minute video and you get 50% average view duration or 50% average view duration, and someone else has a 20-minute video and they get 30% or 40% average view duration, they're still going to beat you because they've spent more time on YouTube on watching the video. Okay. Now, let's say video B has a click-through rate of let's say 9.5%. Okay. But they have they keep people on YouTube for 6 minutes. YouTube is going to push this video. Although, their click-through rate is lower. Then they're going to test it again against another channel. That's where you kind of see, your views dropping off like this because your video did not win against this exact video. All right. So very simple, not too difficult to understand. I really hope so. But just to give you guys like a little bit of a, example of what I think how YouTube kind of pushes videos. And to me, it's the most logical way because YouTube in the end of the day wants to make money and they're always going to push the videos that keep someone on YouTube for the longest period of time. So now that you understand what impressions are, what is a click-through rate, how does YouTube push the videos, what kind of tiers they do it in, let's actually get into, your YouTube account, like your whole account and its trust score. Now, you have to know that there are different kind of YouTube accounts or account types. We have brand new accounts, we have aged accounts, we have personal accounts, and we have pre-monetized accounts. Brand new accounts are just, brand new. You can go ahead and create it right now. Then we have aged accounts. These are just very old accounts, personal, which you can buy. Then personal accounts are accounts that you personally use to watch YouTube. And then we have pre-monetized accounts, which I would not, recommend for anyone just starting out. These are already monetized accounts, so you can buy them. They are quite expensive, but yeah. And then very important is that account age does not matter. So accounts from 2006 aren't stronger than like newer accounts. Anything before 2025 works about the exact same. So do not go ahead and overpay for aged accounts because of the year. Because you will see when you buy aged accounts that some of these accounts will be from 2006 to 2009. They will be way more expensive than the accounts that are, for example, from 2020 or something. Okay. So just buy the 2020 accounts. They're more than good enough. Then you want to protect your channel from day one. Okay. This is just like a little bit of an add-on to, run your channel safely. So use a different email address for every single account. Use different AdSense accounts, use different browsers, and then use different Chrome profiles. Okay, very important because we do not want to have our channels in, all in one email because, if one channel gets banned, then you have a problem. Then you do not want any proxies or you don't need any proxies, anti-detect or anything like that. That is not needed and it's largely a myth for trust purposes. All right, so then warming up your account. So we warm up our YouTube accounts to actually go ahead and increase our trust score. Now trust score is how much does the platform actually trust our channel, which is very important because this is kind of going to determine how much YouTube is actually going to push our YouTube channel, right, or our videos. Now, what accounts need to be warmed up? We warm up new accounts and aged accounts. Then how do we actually warm it up? We use it as a normal user. We watch 1 to 2 hours of content every single day. We subscribe, like, and comment to different kind of YouTube channels. But very important is that we, here don't act like a bot. Okay. Now we do this for 1 week plus to lower the risk of a low trust score. Okay. Now this does not always like 100% of the times work, but it can for sure work. Okay. Does not work 100% of the times. Sometimes the accounts are still bad. I'll show you in a second how to exactly test if you have a good account or a bad account. Okay. Now, quick note, always have like 1 to 2 warmed up accounts ready to go. It's always just going to help you out. Okay. Because if you have a niche, you obviously want to go into it very, very quickly. Now, how to test an account and see if it's actually a good account, you actually record like a 3 to 4 minute phone video. So that can be a walk, a drive, a room tour. The content doesn't really matter. You log into the fresh purchased, whatever account and upload it to that channel and you check the impressions 24 hours after posting. If the video got 50 to like 0 to 50 impressions, the account is dead and I wouldn't use it. Okay. You can just delete the account, just log out of it. Then if the account has 200 to 400, impressions, it's usable and often good enough, but it is still not the best. And if it has 1,000 plus impressions, that means that the account has a very high trust score and it's ready to, ready for you to actually start posting your content on that specific account. So this here is massive because we do see that there are a lot of accounts that aren't the best anymore, and that is because of that all of these kind of AI channels being more and more, and they're kind of popping up everywhere. So that's why we actually want to go ahead and we want to test our accounts. All right, now that you've got your account set up, we have the niche that we put onto it. I'll tell you guys a little bit more about the niche and all of these things, how to figure out if your niche is bad. Maybe you're posting videos in a completely wrong niche, and that's why you're not getting any views, right? Now again, anti-detect and proxies, let me be very honest here. 99% of you do not need anti-detect or proxies. Most of you lack fundamental knowledge of YouTube, and that is why you're not getting any views. I've worked with hundreds of people, and we have never ever used any anti-detect or proxy softwares ever. We've never used it. Okay. Now, if we look at here, just as an example, this student here, she was not, or they were not getting any views. So they had 4 subscribers after 4 videos, and after 6 weeks, all right, in 6 weeks they've just gotten a total of 600 views. And we changed it up for them. We completely kind of changed up the content on the channel, and it worked. We had our call on Thursday, and then the next week, here we just hit the magic number of 1,000 subscribers this afternoon. So this is how quickly it can go if you actually have a good niche, right? So if you want to kind of skip this whole trial and error, guys, you know where to book a call. Check out the first link in the video description. Book a call with me, and we'll have a look if it makes sense to work together or not. Again, we're only looking for working with very serious people. Otherwise, we will not be able, to blow up channels. Here, just as an example, first month already monetized. Then here, just as an example, 1,000 subscribers in 9 days. Then here, another one, monetized. Then here, monetized, second channel. Then here, wait, this one I showed you. Then here, got my first channel monetized. Here, 2 channels monetized. And many, many more. Guys, just book a call and we'll have a look if I can actually help you scale. But very important is, between all of the results we're getting, like, it's very important that you are actually serious and you actually want to go ahead and put in the work and make it work, Yes, then next up, patience is key. So currently we're in July 2026 and patience is key. All right. We had the World Cup, the summertime is going on. So the views on YouTube are in general currently a bit lower. Okay. And YouTube takes longer to push out new channels and often leaves them at 0 impressions before giving them an initial push. Okay. Now I know that I want you guys to test, exactly like this one. But even if you're already, posting videos now on a YouTube channel, just keep on posting. Like, YouTube is very slow at the moment. Sometimes it can be like that you post 15 videos and you're not really getting any impressions, but we'll get into like the whole testing framework and everything in a second. But if you're about to start the channel, I would always recommend you to kind of run this test and just see like, hey, is it a good account or is it a bad account? Because this is obviously going to save you quite a bit of time. All right. Then we get into our niche testing framework where, we follow this exact process with every single niche we get into to avoid spending on money on videos that will never ever work. So first thing we do is niche research. Okay. Now, how can you now very quickly kind of see if your niche that you're maybe already posting on is good or not? Okay. Let me actually quickly get into that. So when we're doing niche research, we're always looking at like a specific niche criteria. So we're looking for, there are under 5 smaller channels creating content in that niche that are constantly getting more views than they have subscribers. This means there's high demand and low supply, which is one of the most important factors when it comes to YouTube automation or faceless YouTube channels, because YouTube is a marketplace and every marketplace has demand and has supply. Okay. Then there are no channels with over 100,000 subscribers. Why not? Because there's already a bunch of trust with these channels. So YouTube will automatically, trust these accounts more over your account. Okay. You will not be able to compete against these big channels. There are no smaller channels failing. If there are hundreds and hundreds of smaller channels failing already, why should YouTube push your content out? Okay, if you're going to do the exact same thing as everyone else. Then the niche is not older than 6 months. Super important, because in most cases, if it is older, you'll have a bunch of smaller channels failing and a bunch of channels with 100,000 subscribers already. Then I can actually go ahead and create better content than my competitors. As I've explained in the beginning, if you can also go ahead and create longer content than your competitors. Why? Because YouTube is always going to push the video that keeps someone on YouTube for the longest period of time. And if you create like 1.5x longer content than your competitors, you have a very high chance of actually beating them. Okay, then I'm actually interested in this niche. This is not a must as long as you build a team that has interest in the niche. Okay, so yeah, then is this niche monetizable? Super important. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to make any money. Then huge bonus if you post long videos. Okay, because again, here you can, have a higher RPM, RPM like that, which means you are actually going to make more money for the videos you are posting. Then very important is this does not need to be 1000% with all niches you find. Very difficult to find a niche that is absolutely perfect for this. Okay, very difficult. In the case where you're going to find something like that, very often, the channels end up exactly like this one. So happens like a few times a year, but wouldn't like perfectionize this because then you're gonna do niche research for super super long. But yeah, once you have our niche research, we actually look at what kind of account we want to use. That's completely up to you. You guys know what accounts do what, so it's completely up to you what kind of account you want to use. Then we want to post 5 to 10 videos. So for most people that are just starting out, I'd actually go ahead and post 15 videos, not just 5 videos. All right, now once you have posted, or once you know, okay, we're going to post 5 videos, we obviously need the video ideas. Now for the video ideas, we actually need to be very specific. So you can have the perfect niche, but if your video topics suck, your views are going to suck, right? As we see here, so this video here, 2.5 million views, this one 200 views. And the reason for that is because most people just go ahead and copy successful videos one-on-one. That is never ever going to work, all right? Because there's supply and demand in video topics. So supply and demand is not just, important in your niche, but it is also important in the video topics you choose. Now, how do you find demand? You look for recent outlier videos on competitor channels. You look for recent trending formats. And very important is that you do not copy videos one-on-one from your competitors, all right? This is what everyone does, and your videos will fail. You will not succeed if you copy videos one-on-one. Now, how do you actually go ahead and find supply? You use your YouTube search bar and look for how many people have already created the exact same video. If it's been done more than 3 times and you don't have a different angle to that specific video, go ahead and look for a different topic. That's what I would recommend, all right? YouTube will always show the videos to the hardcore fans of that niche first, and if they have already seen the video multiple times, they do not have a single reason for clicking on your video, except if it follows a different angle, okay? Now, how does the perfect video topic look like? The perfect topic is a topic that resonates with your audience. So ask yourself, do they even want to watch this? Some topics sound super interesting on YouTube or in general, but are super boring. Your topic has to be posted on time, especially if it's a trend. Then repeat what has done well in the past. Let me tell you guys more about that now. So we've actually scaled up a student, and I'll show you here very quickly. So we have scaled up a student. I'm not sure if I added the post inside here, but Andre to $30,000 in a single month, in 4 months, just by, I'm just looking for that post. Yeah. So we scaled him to $30,000 in a single month, in 4 months of working together, simply by doubling down on what works. So if you have something that works, always do what works. All right. Double down on it until it doesn't work anymore. That's absolutely crazy. All right. Works very, very well. Then leverage negativity. Humans respond better to negative things. If you look at all of the news headlines and all of these things, it's always negativity. Okay. So make sure you have this on point. Now, once we have our video ideas, we actually want to use any kind of AI to write the videos. For the voiceover, you're also going to use AI. For the editor, we can use a freelancer. And then for the thumbnail, we're going to use a freelancer. We can do it ourselves, or we can even use AI for that as well. Now, the cool thing is, if you're going to do it like that, the cost per video, you can aim for about $15 to $20 per video, cheap scripts, cheap voiceover, cheap editor, cheap thumbnail. It's not going to be the best video, but it's more than enough to test your YouTube channel. Your video length should be, as I've mentioned, 1.5 times longer than your competitor video. Your thumbnail and your title should be not something completely new. So you want to always work with things that are already proven to work in that niche. We're not going to copy and steal like thumbnail one-on-one, but we're going to take inspiration from our competitors and make a similar thumbnail. Not the same, like the style of the thumbnail should be similar. All right, hope that makes sense. Now, once we have that ready, we're actually going to go into posting. So this is exactly where you're going to find out like, hey, is the niche dead? Is the niche working or is it not working? So what we're going to do is we're actually going to post, skip, post, skip, post, post, skip, post. Okay. Now we do this until we have all 15 videos posted. Now, one of two things is going to happen. For many channels in the beginning, the views are going to be very slow and then they're going to blow up. All right. If it's, again, there are a few metrics to this, which I'll share to you in a second. Now, once you posted 15 videos and this happens, then only we are going to continue to post new videos on this channel after we've posted these 15 videos. If this does not happen, all right, and the views completely flatline and we're not getting any views, then we're not going to continue to post on this channel, okay? Because, the chances of it still picking up are low. And the reasons why a channel might fail is, again, because of the niche, because of the video topics, because of the packaging, because of the video length, and because it's a bad channel, right? In this case, if it's not getting any views, I always recommend you to take these exact videos and upload them to a different channel as well. Sometimes helps, but if, again, nothing happens, have a look at why the channel failed. So look into these reasons and try to understand why a channel failed. And, then we just go ahead and start with niche research again. Okay. Now, if you have any questions and if you don't want to kind of do all of this process alone and want my help, like for example, here, Erland, who completely took off his YouTube channel. Here, the first $1,000 feels unreal. Then here, completely blowing up a channel. Here, finally in after 2 weeks, here $1,000 a month. Here, $4,000 a month. Here, student just getting monetized. Here, $7,000 a month. Just check out the first link in the video description. Here, another one, monetize in just 16 days. Then, check out the first link in the video description and we will have a look if it makes sense to work together or not. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video.